Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to another night of Shadow Whispers in the Night. And tonight I have with me Miss Lulu, Emerald Isle Paranormal Researchers team. Hello, Lou.
Hi.
This is Louise's first time doing this with me. So kind of all welcome Louise in and be nice and play nice with her.
Yeah.
All bustions. Louise is gonna bust me. I said I wouldn't do it, but I said I wouldn't do it, but like I did. I'm sorry. I didn't tell you beforehand. Sorry. Well, hello, Nando. What's the crack? I'm going to give you a wee buzz later. Tell the kids and Sarah I said hi. So we have a fantastic guest on with us tonight. We have Warren Coates on with us tonight. I'm going to read out a little bit of a bio. First, so paranormal investigator Warren Coates, who hails from Northern Ireland, is the founder of the longest running paranormal team in the country. The Northern Ireland Paranormal Research Association, with over 30 years experience and an absolutely incredible dedication to researching the unexplained. Tonight, he will recall some of his most memorable experiences, and we are looking forward to it. So I'm going to bring on Mr. Warren Coates. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you keeping?
Grand. All good. All good down here in the rainy south of Ireland. How's it up there in the north?
Well, we had a bit of sunshine today, and it was cold but nice. So it was. So long may it last.
No, and you can see the winter is not the winter. I love winter. I know. When it comes to summer, I want the winter. When it comes to winter, I want the summer.
I think we're all the same.
Yeah, I do. I like the summer, but I don't like having to work for the summer body. I like the winter body where I can sit and eat.
Yeah.
The summer, yeah, you know what I'm saying? The summer, you just kind of have to pick on fruit. And I just don't want that.
It's all the paranormal investigators. You love the long days, but you look forward to the long nights so we can get out and investigate in the dark.
Completely. And even when it's cold, you still go out and do it.
Oh, yeah, you have to.
I remember many times up in Shane's Castle in County Antrim, and you'd be walking in about, like, say, 10 inches of snow, freezing. And I think in the tunnels was warmer than it was outside. And you'd all go into the canteen area and take your boots off and kind of put your feet up in the radiator. Have you been to Shane's Castle, Warren?
A few times years ago.
It's a great
amazing place.
It is. Oh, I miss it. I did go back up, I'd say 2 years ago in the summertime, just to say goodbye to it, because the team that I was on before had shut down unexpectedly, and that was the end of Shane's for us. But we do it every single year for about 6 years, 7 years, every single month, for those 6 or 7 years consecutively. It was my starting off base when I was in the paranormal, and what a place to start off in.
It really is.
I know. I remember the first night I could hear my breath, like breathing out. It was like kind of the Witch Blair, where you can hear yourself breathing. I was petrified.
It's a good place to find out if you're going to be a paranormal investigator or not.
And here I am still.
Exactly. Because it's the same as some of the places we've been to. After maybe 1 or 2 nights, you know who's going to stick with it and who's going to be, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah. I know. And we were talking to Mary last night. Huh?
I haven't been there.
Oh, it's
an amazing place.
Yeah.
So it's very active.
It really is. I know. I'm working my source, my friends, and I'm hopefully now, because I talked to the lady from there, so hopefully we're going to work on it and bring you up just to experience where Jenny had first started off as well, and to experience the tunnels. It is Mary. It is phenomenal. Hi, Mary. What's the crack with you? We have Mav. Hi, Mav Tina. We have Roger from Memphis. Hi, Roger. Hope everything is well over there, and your weather is probably better than here in Ireland. So, yes, Shane's Castle, we will try and arrange something for Shane's Castle. Hopefully in the summertime. It is beautiful. It is a beautiful place. Hi, Nigel. So, Warren, would you like just even to start off with what got you into paranormal stuff?
Well, again, I've said it to so many times. You sort of, is this really what happened? But it honestly is. And it does sound like a cliche from a horror story. I was actually brought up in a haunted house in Bangor, just a wee town where I was born, where it was just outside sort of Belfast. Everybody in the house experienced paranormal activity. My mother, my brother, my father, my sister. I was the only one that didn't, and I always sort of put it down as their imagination. There was no such thing. Now, I remember from my when I was 8 year old, I remember being bought the book, The Hamlin Book of Ghosts. So even at 8 year old, I was researching it, and it was a stereotypical, what you would say, of a monk. Now, 200 yards down the road from where I used to live, there was an old abbey, when it's one of the oldest abbeys on any maps. So it was Bangor Abbey, beautiful, beautiful building. And the grounds that we lived in, the grounds that the house was, the grounds, in fact, what most of Belfast Road built on was the old sort of monastery and all, on their grounds. So it was, but that's what got me into it. I went out to try and debunk the whole thing and to try and prove there was no such thing, and just basically literally got a slap in the face one night, and that was it. Just changed me completely.
How old were you when you were trying to debunk?
I went out, I first started going out when I was about 9 or 10. I started going out sort of like hearing stories, buying books, and because of where I lived, going down to, you had the Abbey, and then you had Castle Grounds, which is like a big park area, and everybody's seen figures around there as well. So obviously I was going down there, me and the mates, done very tongue-in-cheek. So it was, we didn't probably know what we were doing, but it always gave me that, even in the back of my mind, I was going, well, if there is something here, if there's something genuinely ghostly and paranormal, let it prove itself to me.
Okay.
And then, but it's just one of those things that I've never able to let go of, basically.
Yeah. And I can't believe like 8, 9, 10, you were trying to debunk the paranormal.
See,
that's
I don't know whether you've ever seen the Hamlin Book of Ghosts. If you Google the Hamlin Book of Ghosts, it shows you like a painted cover of a thing. If my mind remembers correctly, it's like a ghost with long hair and all coming through like a doorway or through a wall. Mm-hmm. So it's a kiddie's book. It's a kiddie's horror ghost book, but it's all true ghost stories. And it's all done. It's for like children. Really good book for its day. I mean, I had the book for a lot of years. You can still buy the book, but it's very, very hard to get now.
Really? And what's it called? The Hamlin?
Hamlin. It's Hamlin. I think it is Hamlin Book of Ghosts.
Oh, very good. Okay, I'm going to look that up.
Some of the illustrations on it, if I would say, for now you're talking back a lot of years, some of the illustrations were amazing the way they were done. For a kiddie's book, you couldn't do it these days. You couldn't get away with it.
I like that. I like the real hardcore, real nitty gritty, frighten the bejesus out of your children.
Oh, this was seriously. Because my brothers got him. My father and all was going, we don't think he should have that. And they're going, but sure, he's weird anyway. He already goes in the hunt. He already goes in the graveyards by himself at 9-year-old. So.
You didn't. Oh my
I
God.
loved it.
Oh my gosh. It's the same, like I come from a family of 11 and I was always the different child. I still am, but I was always a different child. And it's nice being different. If you're all the same, it's just not as fun.
I was the black sheep of the family.
Hello, nice to meet you. Me too. I never gave him the space. Huh?
Yeah, me too. Anything paranormal was always.
I was a different child. I was all the Greenpeace and the WWF and all of the. And then paranormal.
Wild child.
I was different. I remember my sisters were having an argument of taking me and my twin out for a walk, and I only found out years later that they were fighting over my twin because they wanted to hold her hand and not mine, because God knows what I'd come out with. Like, really? Yes, I don't let them forget about that, though. I wanted to ask you as well, what was going on in your house that was paranormal?
It was, I say, my father-in-law always described it as just like somebody wearing a cloak, or like somebody wearing a long gown, which again later, once we described it, it turned out we weren't the only people seen it in the road. There was other neighbours had seen it, and even talking about the phantom hitchhikers, people had actually seen, and still to this day see it, these dark figures walking across Belfast Road, and people slam the brakes on because this figure just walks out in front of them. So it's a well-known thing even today, but it's more like a stone brickwork thing, because what used to happen is this figure used to walk through the wall, into the bedroom and through the other walls, so it went right through the bedroom walls. But again,
Oh,
what that means is in them days, there was maybe a door there. There was probably
yeah.
no room at all.
Yeah.
Because we got, if you go down to Bangor Town Hall, they've got a big, like a model of where the Bangor Abbey is and all the plantation houses and all the way from it. And there was like single story and double story houses the whole way up this road. So where this figure was walking through could well have been just an old dwelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was, but it was to say, Lacey and my mother-in-law, she said, like it looked like like had a hood over its head, but just walked in, didn't take anybody under their notice, didn't look to the left, didn't look to the right, just walked right through the wall and away.
Would you say it was residual? That just
I think it was, yeah. Yeah, I think it was, and again, other people that I know have had experiences on that road now. People spoke to over the years, which has turned out, because obviously once I started really getting into it, I was putting ads in the local Spectator in Bangor, which is a local paper, and just saying, look, in these areas of Bangor, has anybody had any experiences? So there's a lot of people coming back to me going, well, actually, yes, and they were describing the same sort of thing. One of the guys, he basically said the Spurs used to come down and sit around the dining room table with him. So I mean, his was taken with a pinch of salt, but the majority of them were, maybe the odd sort of door been opened and door been closed.
Aye.
But for this figure, these cloaked figures, it was more as if they were just in a different plane of existence. They just weren't taking any notice of us at all.
Yeah,
I would love that.
It was amazing, and to say, it's something that I still go, I wish I'd have seen that. And then the house that we lived in a lot of years later, it turned out one of my friends actually bought it. And I didn't know for a lot of years, and then he contacted me about it, and his wife had actually seen this figure as well. And you were talking like 25, 30 years later.
So it could be either or, like residual or intelligent. It just not acknowledged people. If they had a long cloak, I'm thinking, would it be a monk? That would be
from the monastery or from the abbey. Yes, that's what we think it was.
Yeah.
Because they would have had their plantation bit they had was massive. It would have went all up. There's a big flyover. It was about a mile and a half outside Bangor, and their plantation would have basically went up to there. So it was a big size of an abbey and sort of monastery and all that surrounded it.
Have you ever seen a full apparition?
We've been lucky enough over the years. I've been lucky enough over the years because of sort of being putting myself into places to see it. But yes, I have. I've been lucky enough. I used to work in the Crumlin Road Jail, and we've done all the paranormal stuff in the Crumlin Road Jail at one stage.
I'd love to go there.
I was lucky enough to see a full apparition. Rich Hill Castle in County Armagh.
Aye.
We were lucky enough to see one there as well. And it's one of those things where a couple of times when things have happened, where you sort of go, did I see that? But there was a couple of ones as well where it was right in front of you, and you're going, my goodness, this is amazing what's happening.
And it's crazy because you have to dissect your brain. I know I seen one in Shane's Castle in County Antrim.
Yeah.
And I was sitting in the car with one of the team members, and we were late up to location, and the whole team was down in the tunnels. So we're sitting, where the toilets are.
Yes.
So you have the canteen, and then you have the toilet. So we're sitting in that car park there. So I'm looking around, and we were there for about an hour and a half. And I think they were punishing us because we were late up to location. So just so from the male's toilets, the doors facing upwards. So I had seen a solid black figure walking from the male toilet door towards the side, just that wall.
Yeah.
And it was it was a side profile, so you would see obviously the head, the nose. Hold on. My cat only does it when I go live, only. He wants to get into it. But you could see the nose, the mouth, the chin, the neck, the shoulders, right down to the waist, walking from left to right.
Was this black, Jenny, or was it coloured?
It was just solid black. Couldn't see through it, solid black. And I said nothing. The side profile right down to the waist. And I said nothing to my friend in the car. I just said nothing. I'm trying to dissect it. About 8 seconds later, she said to me, "Oh my God, did you just see that?" And
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh crap." And I said, "What did you see?" And she said, "I seen waist and legs just walking by." So I saw the top half and she saw the bottom half. And I
Right.
just put the key in the ignition. She goes, "Why?" I said, "Just put the key in the ignition." And then we could hear her crunching on the stones. So I'm moving over very close to my friend. And my eyes were kind of like looking to the side of my window. Like if I seen someone looking in,
Yeah.
game over, Jennifer. But thankfully, someone just kind of looking up to the glass, looking in at me. But thankfully, it didn't happen. But it was today. I'm still thinking, I know nobody was on the land. They were all tunnels, nobody there. We heard women talking when we were in the canteen sleeping. It's a bloody fantastic place.
It is.
Did you ever see an apparition, Lulu?
Yeah, but it was in an unusual spot. I was actually on holidays in Tenerife, and it was a full dark shadow person. I don't know. I just felt like someone was watching me. I woke up, tried waking up my cousin, and it's like it copped. I was looking at it, and it ran by. And we actually had 2 glasses of water on the chair that was beside the bed, and all you remember is like a little clip of the glasses.
Oh no.
Nothing else. So the following morning, having our breakfast, and I just said, "Oh, I'm going to say it. They probably think I'm mad." But anyway, and next thing, the other girl across the table stops eating, and she goes, "Oh my God, the same thing happened with me." She says, "Last night." Now, where I had seen it run off to was part of the kitchen. If you know these type of apartments, the way it's all on one level, it's all on one floor. So they were in that bedroom for the second part of the weekend. She says, "I woke up as well." She says, "I felt like someone was watching me," and she says, "a perfect outline of a black figure." But no actual
face,
distinctions to the face. Yeah, like no actual eyes. And the two of us just were like, okay. Right.
But it's deadly. It's
nice when someone else can kind of like concur with you.
Yeah.
Do you know that way?
Yeah, that can validate it for you. Like I said nothing to my friend, and you just see it. So still dissected to this day. But I'm going with it was definitely there. It was definitely there. And you've seen 2, Warren.
But just, I mean, as I say, some of you're talking over the years. Again, it's something we would always stress to people. And yourselves have gone out on paranormal activity or paranormal investigation. There's a chance you're going to go out and you're going to experience nothing. Not even a light coming on, a light anomaly. You're not going to get any EVP. You're not going to get anything. And I think that's what puts people off, because I'm sure yourselves are the same, because we've had people going out wanting to join the group or else wanting to go out on investigation. You explain to them what it is, and you go, look, there's no guarantee, especially when we used to run a lot of locations. People wanted, we said to them, look, there's no guarantee. We don't have anything rigged. So there's no guarantee you're going to experience something here. Yeah. And you get people coming over going, well, I thought I was going to see at least a ghost or something. You're going, but that's not what you are watching too much Ghost Adventures if you start really going down that road. So you are,
I tell them it's not TV.
It's not.
You get.
As we always say, there's a reason why it's called for entertainment value only on the programs. And we're actually looking for new members at the moment. And I had a guy phone me or email me here 2 weeks ago, and I phoned him up and had a good chat with a guy. And really, really nice fella. But then he said something which I just closed my whole self down with, because we were chatting and I says, you'll be doing training, because it worked a bit with another group. And I says, you'll be doing training, because every group's different. I says, although we do use some equipment, we're more spiritual based, so we'll do sort of spiritual work, we'll do development work.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, he says, I know most of the stuff about paranormal anyway. He says, I'm well versed in it all. And I went, oh, that's great. I says, it's good you have like a knowledge of it. And he went, well, he says, I've every volume of Most Haunted. And I've watched every volume of Most Haunted, so I know all what there is needing to know. And I felt like going, is this guy real? How do I burst this guy's bubble?
I've had one of those. I was looking for members at the time, and this guy, sending me all of his pictures of his equipment, and I'm like, that's great. So we were going to a location, and he was saying, listen, I don't want to ask questions. Can I just film the whole thing? And I'm like, no, you cannot. You must get involved. You want to join the team or you want to come out with us, but you don't want to call out. I don't think he wanted to join. He wanted to and come
An
to the location.
Yeah.
He's been out before with different teams before. So he said, listen, I just don't want to get involved. I'm just going to stay in the background and set my equipment around the place and video. No, you won't, I said. No, you will not. You will not set up any equipment anywhere. You will not walk away on your own, and you are not filming. Period.
No, that's right.
Period. No, we're not doing that. So, no, I uninvited him. I wouldn't have a problem doing that. I uninvited him, not doing it. And then when we say it's not what you see on TV, like it's long hours, it could be cold, you are tired. We take breaks, coffee breaks, food breaks, and so on and so on. But it's not what you see on TV.
No, it's really not.
If we got in 45 minutes, what they get, maybe they shut down for the night and go home.
Exactly.
You have to have a real interest in the area like that. You want to figure out what is going on. What is like if you haven't had an experience, it's curiosity. Like, well, what is people seeing? Or else like that, you have been bit, and as I would say, and then you want to find out more. You want to be even more,
Have a passion for research, investigation, and research. Research is key. I love it. We love it.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, Lulu, I tell you, we went out to do a private house, and Lou got to bring out to this guy and printed everything out and laminated it. She had gotten to what the land was before the house was even there.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, Louise, okay, that was.
I love all that. I love all the history. So
yeah,
brilliant.
But that's it. Unfortunately, there's a lot of, not a lot of, but there is groups that don't go down that avenue, and they're missing so much out because I remember a couple of cases, but one case in particular, and the people in the houses went, we think it's a spirit of a man. And I said, right, that's okay. I said, if you do think there's something there, give it a name. And will we call him John? Yeah. And I said, right, do you call him John for a reason? And they went, no, it's just a name come into our heads. And we'd done research, and a guy died in the house about 50 or 60 years previously. Guess what his first name was? John.
That's what
we said this. We showed this to the people, man. Like, you're picking up on it, and these people were terrified. Like, they wanted to get out of this house when we first went in. At the end of it, they're still, the last time they were still in the house was about maybe 6 years ago. But they were happy enough, but they were living along with John, with the spirit that was there. And all they needed is just understand it's not a demon, it's not going to possess you, it's not going to hurt you. Just give it a label and communicate and let it know what's there.
Well, that's it. That's it. That's what I do in location, that I would get a name. And there's Alan there. I would get, hi, Alan. This is Alan from the Drogheda Museum Millmount. We investigate with Alan in the Drogheda Museum Millmount. Alan, we're just talking about names come to people's heads, and we go with those names. I do that from the museum. I do it mainly from the museum. I've been in that place for about almost 7 years now. And so I get names. And the guys, even Alan would say to me, Jenny, I'd call out, there's a John or a David and a Kevin and a Helen in this location. What was the name that I said last week?
Philomena or something?
No, it wasn't Philomena. No, it was oh gosh, Alan, do you remember the name I said last week? It must not be real. It's an old name. It must not be real if I can't remember it. But yeah, that's when they get a name in their head. And I know I listened back on audio. I got it when I went into one location. I had gotten the name, Petulia. Petulia, that's the one. Petulia was the name that I got in my head. And Alan was laughing, like saying, Jenny, oh my God, you're coming out with these names again. So Petulia is a name that I got last week. Now, when we did a playback, and Alan said, oh my God, because he thought he heard Petulia. I have a really bad back. And I jumped off that seat like I was, miraculously cured from having a bad back, because I thought I heard Petulia too. And I'm like, if this is Petulia, I'm going to start charging people for readings. So, no, we thought it was, but it didn't. But we're back there next Thursday. So I'm going to work on Petulia.
Watch it.
Yeah, we're going to work on Petulia. Janet, have several investigations. In fact, 80% where nothing happens. It's part and parcel of what investigation is about. It's not most haunted.
Exactly.
100%. I think they kind of started it off. And the best equipment you have is eyes and ears. Dad had a great idea of 3 people just sitting in the dark in several spots with a notepad, torch and pen, and write what's happening. No talking. The results are incredible. That's what we were talking about last week that we were going to do. It's just nothing, pen and paper and recorder.
That's right.
That's it.
Go back to basics.
That's it.
Yeah.
Once I was doing this before I could even watch it on TV. Gregory, I think the three of you should work on a redux of the 70s cartoon Gobba and the Ghost Chasers. I'll accept it. What? Oh, Jesus, that's Gregory. Oh, how did you snip in here, Gregory? How did you get back in here now? That's and Patchouli. Yeah, that's the one. So let me see. Let me just.
Militaristic.
There we go. Sorry. Yep, I was just seeing something there now. When it comes to, and I know we like to start on basics, but when it comes to equipment, what would you use? I know we use spiritual and senses. What would you use if it comes to equipment?
We have like the usual spirit boxes, full spectrum cameras, Serialux camcorders, digital microphones, virtually everything that you would expect. Whenever we go out in investigation, we do two different ones. We'll go what's known as NIPRA unplugged. And it's just the group will go out with nothing at all. The only thing we're going to use is a digital recorder on our mobile phones. And we'll have maybe 2 camcorders set up, so just in case. That's it. We won't do anything else. No. The nights we do that, even the nights we go out and we don't put camcorders on, and we just sit there in a circle, the amount of activity we'll get. And it's just sometimes, it's as if we always say that the spirits they're not performing monkeys, so if we give them, the way we would always describe it is, you're dealing with someone which has, the only thing they don't have the physical body anymore, but the personality traits, everything that person had when they were alive, they still got, and if we treat them like performing monkeys and expect to throw them some nuts and they're going to perform for us, they're not going to do it.
They're not going to do it.
Exactly. But if we go and give them the respect that they're due, and sort of work with them. And even when you go in with no cameras or anything on, you just say, look, guys, we're here. We'd love to experience you. We'd love to come in contact with us and, work with the people in the group. They will. But and there's other nights we'd go and put camcorders on. But as I say, the camcorders and all this it probably sounds bad. I know there's probably a lot of people sort of going, that's the wrong way to do it. But the camcorders, K2 meters, everything we use, they're there as we go out to somebody's house or somebody's business, and they think they're having activity. We go, well, look, we can give this wee box. It's got flashing lights and it makes bleeping noises, and they're happy. They're happy to walk around with something. And if it does bleep, like we've had them walking around, the meter starting to bleep or something like that there, and they're going, oh, does that mean the spirit? And you go, no, it's actually somebody's mobile phone is making the signal, and that's picking up on it. And they go, but when you see them on TV, they're using this. You go, but that's why you don't, again, go back, you don't listen to what they're saying on TV.
Easily manipulated,
Oh, very, very much so. I mean, we had people sort of, unfortunately, we caught them on doing it, so they didn't last very long in the group. But what they were doing was they were keying the microphone of the walkie-talkie when they were beside the meter and getting that to react. So obviously the needle's gone up and the people are going, oh my goodness, this has went up to red. And then they're saying, can you do that again? But we heard the click in the microphone.
Yeah.
So we knew what they were doing. But we said to the people, look, I think somebody's maybe has pushed a button by accident. So there's no way we would want them to go home thinking they've experienced pure paranormal activity. And we would consider that we're cheating them, sort of thing. But it's unfortunate to say, but we would go out ourselves. A lot of this of things we do would be just by ourselves.
The same with us.
Very little equipment,
Yeah, we don't take like groups of public with us ever. We will take guests, but those guests we will know, family or friends. Yes. 1 or 2 of them that we will love to take with us to experience fabulous locations that we do. But would I do a group of 30? God, absolutely not. No, I couldn't. No. I couldn't do it. Look, that's how serious I was. Absolutely goddamn not. No, I couldn't do it. My patience wouldn't allow me. Oh my God.
We've done it. Unfortunately, as I say, you're massaging people's egos a lot of the time. Because you're going out and you're trying to explain to people, because you get like out of the percentage, even if you're taking sort of 10, 15 people, percentage of them people are going to be there to genuinely experience the paranormal if it happens. So, but people are going to be there, and if somebody's stomach gurgles, that's going to be it. They're, oh my goodness, I've heard a ghost.
Yeah,
We've been blue in the face trying to explain to people. Look for a logical explanation. Rule everything logical out of the way first. If you manage to do that without explaining what that noise or what that activity was, then you can count it as probably paranormal. But you can't just go down the avenue straight away of going, that was a ghost.
It's just not, because I know me and you would go through, like Alan saying, you're not going to get something every time. Last night, recorder in the museum all night for 12 hours. Nothing. We got nothing from it.
That's
nothing.
right. Yeah.
Nothing. And like, there was one time we did live in museum. We left a REM pod. We left a recorder in the museum on the 3rd floor. At 2:30 in the afternoon, we had left the location. Then we went home. It was 2:30 in the afternoon. Alan picked up the recorder the next day. Let me tell you, I'll send that on to you. It was phenomenal.
Yes, definitely believe it.
It was mind-blowing. It's probably one of the best pieces. I know Steve Parsons wanted me to send it on to him so they can go through it, so we can validate it or not. I'll send it on to you.
Please do.
Oh, I will. Sure. Oh, I will, definitely. It was phenomenal. Now, we were saying we're going to do something when we're there on Thursday. Will we get what we got before? Probably not. We were lucky to get it once.
That's the beauty of researching the paranormal.
Yeah.
Every day is different, or every night's different. To me, that's what makes it so exciting.
That's it. We just kind of redo it. And I love, I know someone said to me, Jenny, people are going to get bored if you keep going back to the same location time and time again. I am that person that will never do a location one time only. I will do location for years. Yeah, I love it. And then you bond with that location.
That's right.
You bond with the location so much. Like the Drogheda Museum Millmount is one of my babies. I love. We love it. Like Lulu loves it. Niall loves it. Alan loves it. Anyone who comes with us loves it. It's a fantastic place to go into. I'm just going to read some of the comments out here. Oh, geez, these glasses. Too much of the high-tech stuff can be messed with. I'm not a fan of the spirit box. I hate the noise. But having said that, we've had reactions from that noise, that whatever is around is annoyed. I don't mind the REM pod. My favorite is voice recorder and just talking. Warren, I think knows my dad.
Oh, right, okay. Campbell, yes, I think so, yes.
You know my dad.
It's a small world.
It really is. Eric is saying, I love earphones and blindfold that way. That's like the Estes method. I don't know what the person is asking. Yeah, and I give answers that make sense. Yeah, that's the Estes method. We do that as well. We knew did that before one time. Mary saying, this nice we've been on investigation and have been sitting around chatting and laughing with a couple when something happens quite naturally. It's lovely. Always. Because we'd be sitting in the museum and we'd be like, oh, and we kind of make signals to down the room where we hear.
The hallway.
Hugh is saying, this night last week we were at the Irish Military Museum here in Drogheda. In the long corridor, we had the camera and the IR light on. We did some long sets of questions, no responses. But 3 times we asked, do you want the camera switched off? And 3 times we got a response from the REM pod after asking each time. Yes, I know. The REM pod is kind of like sometimes it's a hit and miss, but there was one time in the museum and it was just amazing. We don't know. I always think, is it the battery or something? And, but it was really good. I still have a video. Eric saying, yes, logical first doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense after. And yes, because you want to find out what's next. And Grand Opera House, John Campbell.
Yes, I know John. Well, yes. I know who it is.
That's John.
Tell him hi.
Oh, tell him hi. This is Miss Chantel from South Africa. Chantel, you need to come back over to Ireland. How are you, my love? How are you? So when you go through audio, because audio is my thing. I love EVPs. I love audio. I'm obsessed with it. Did you ever come across one of the most best EVPs you've ever had?
We did. There's a place we used to go called Rich Hill Castle. And Rich Hill Castle in Armagh was one of the most beautiful places we've ever been. Loads and loads of activity. The family that owned it were just so nice and let us do anything basically we wanted on. we got an EVP there. Now there was what's known as the death room, and the death room overlooked the beautiful sort of ornate gardens. And if anybody was concerned, I'm getting my charger here ready just in case you wonder what I'm doing. So you're once people were getting ready, maybe on their last legs, were put into this room. The windows were open, and I got there, so they could obviously experience the last of their life.
Oh wow!
We were in the room one night doing an EVP session, and again, it just shows you about with all the equipment. We had a good bit of equipment set up, and there was actually a guy in doing a bit of stuff with us, and he was going, "I love that stuff." He says, "You know what you're doing, the paranormal stuff's brilliant." He says, "But I never get any results." And we says, "Well, just do, try EVP and just try it with, again, nothing else there, no other equipment on." And he tried it, and we were in the room, everything else switched off. We were in the room for about an hour, had the voice recorder sat there, went down, had a cup of tea, brought the mic down later on, or the recorder down later on, and we had just went out of the room, and you heard us saying, "Right, we're exiting the room. If there's anybody there, please, make yourself known to us." And just when we went out of the room, about 10 seconds later, all you heard is this voice going, "Hello, everybody." And it was very, very low, but you could hear it very, very plainly. And as we said, and he actually said this, but he said that was his recorder. And he said, "This, I've never got anything like that there before." But that's what we said. Just go take everything off, switch everything off, and just go around and just leave the room quiet, because then there's no other contamination on it.
Yep.
But again, I should have a copy of that somewhere, so I have as well, actually.
Really?
Really clear. Now you can hear the hiss, you can hear the background static coming in, and then you can hear the EVP, and then the static again.
I love the EVPs. I mean, when you get the class A's, you get the class A, B's, C's, okay, you just don't do with them as much as the A and B's. We've had so many class A and B EVPs. We love the audio. Me and Lou would sit for hours and go through it, of the audio work. I know there was a place down in Kildare, White's Castle it was called. I think it went into foreclosure. donkeys years ago went into foreclosure. But the founder of another team that I was on with sent me the audio from that. It was probably the most, I can even hear it in my head to this day, terrifying EVP I have ever heard. Something I don't ever want to hear again. It was like from the dungeon, and the recorder was left in the dungeon area. So they left it there for a few hours. They went off to get food, went back and listened to it. And it was the most surreal audio I've heard at the beginning of my journey in the paranormal. It sounded horrible, of screaming, and you hear the pain. You hear pain in this audio, in this EVP.
Right.
The worst thing I've ever heard. I've heard bad stuff, but this was stayed with me. Only came back into my mind here tonight now, but stayed with me. It's not good. I know Erica's,
Some of it can be like, so we had one. It was a house we had done. The house was actually connected a lot with the bottle of the Somme, and this was up in the Antrim Road in Belfast. And we had done the house a lot of years ago. And the fella had said about there was 3 members of the same family, or no, 2 sons had been killed at the bottle of the Somme, and we done an EVP there. And one of the sons had been, I'm not sure exactly what happened, but he was burnt to death anyway. And you heard the screams, and basically the EVP was it just sounded like somebody screaming.
Yeah.
So it did, and very, very off-putting. Whenever you heard it, it was just not a very nice thing to listen to.
No, it's kind of that moment, and it stayed. It's like etched in the walls.
Yeah.
And it stayed. And I wish I could get that audio for you to hear, and it will stay with you. It was
someone made it again. We get sent EVPs all the time, and it's unfortunate. The last one we got was a few weeks ago now, and the EVP was sent us was just noise, and the guy says, "I can hear this," and he said it was a whole sentence getting read out, but it was just noise. It was just static and noise, and there was people talking over the top of it. And all I got there, and I said, "Look," I said, "I'm sorry." I said, "I can't make out what you're saying," because we cleaned it up a bit. And I got there and tried sort of say we just couldn't hear. But everybody was talking. I said, "You just need to quieten down." And I said, one person asked a question. I said, and then basically silence. But so they were all chatting and carrying on. He says, I've got this. There's a full sentence.
It is. I know we have made our mistakes of leaving recorded on, and we're having a conversation in the coffee room.
Oh, we all do it. Yeah, we all do it.
And when we're going through audio, and then me and Lou would be mailing each other. So who was what and where? Because I write everything down now, and what equipment we've set up and where we've set them up and who was in what room and when we were calling out and so on. We have done that many times. Even last week, we've done that mistake of we're going through audio and we were downstairs in the kitchen, Lou, me, you and Niall, and the rest of the guys were up in the coffee room above us. And when I was listening to the audio last night, all you can hear is the playback upstairs. And I was like, note to self. No bleeping, audio playback, bleeping when a call out session is being bleeping done.
Yeah.
And then write down that message. I do a lot of writing down notes. I have to go through with them. Let me see. There's something here. Do you know what I want to talk to you about? Phantom hitchhikers.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
What's that about?
Phantom hitchhikers is it's basically a world renowned or world researched paranormal activity. Happens in virtually every corner of the world. The close one that we were called into, it actually turned out it was a lot of years ago. You're talking maybe 15 odd years ago. One down in Coal Island, County Tyrone. And it was just in this wee country crossroads. And there was this old woman just seen standing at the side of the road. And then when cars are going by, she'd done one or two things. She either just stood on the side of the road and people pulled up thinking there was something wrong with her, a wee old elderly lady. Once people pulled up and stopped the car, then she disappeared. The other thing she done was walked in front of the car. And people were slammed the brakes on. There was people went through the hedges and all because it's a narrow country laneway. And it turned out we had actually researched this case just when we had first started, about 5 years after the group first started. So we started in 91. About 5 years after, we had done this case down in Coal Island. And then, as I said, about 15 years ago, it started again. But we just got a phone call here a couple of nights ago, and I haven't been down to see the people yet. We're going down on Tuesday night, so it's going to be an interesting night because these people are apparently having this same sort of thing happening at the side of the road. Now, it's a new built house. It's about 50, 60 miles away from where I live, so it's going to be a nice wee journey down. But once what they see is figure, if they come down to the bottom of their laneway, and whenever they're driving up the road, they say there's this wee old man that people see walking up the side of the road, and he just walks up. He's got stuff, and they don't know why it's a dog with him or not. But just whenever people get a bit close to him, he starts like fearing out as if he's walking into the middle of the road and disappears.
Oh.
Now they've lived there. They've only moved in a few months, but he said he was speaking to the farmer that they bought the land off the farmer, and the farmer was saying about, oh, that's old Joe, and said the guy's name, and said he's been seen for years doing that. So the phone is up now. Again, phantom hitchhikers, loads of them all over the world. So there is a famous one in England. So there is, and it's seen quite often. So there is, but I say if you Google it, it's very, very interesting. It's a lot more common than what you think. There's one, whenever you're going over the Glen Shane Pass, there's actually one there. It's been seen quite regularly as well. This figure, I think it's a man, just walks out in the middle of the road and cars are slamming their brakes on and then he just disappears. Or else there's other ones where these people will stop the car and the spirit will actually get in the car and they'll start talking to him, and then the person disappears halfway down the road.
Okay.
So it is, but this one next week, I say we're looking forward to getting down there because it's going to be an interesting case if it's genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the ones that are like the one in the UK, would it happen, or even the one up in the north, would it happen all the time or would it happen sporadically? I mean,
it would happen sporadically.
If myself and you went up, like, would we have to go up at a certain time, a certain month?
I'm not sure about that now. As far as the Coal Island one's doing, it would happen. It's more during sort of autumn time. It would be because say we've done bits in the summer, done bits in the spring, and I got there at it, and we didn't have any activity. But in the autumn time, just whenever the nights are starting to get a lot longer, then you see it. Now, the story is the wee woman that lived in the house. She was there with her son. She looked after her son. Okay. And then, as far as I know, her son, I think her son died first, and then she died. Oh. But she's just doing her thing. Now, again, why it's residual or not, we don't know, because people say she walks out in front of the car, but again, you don't know if you're actually driving. Does she walk out in front of the car when you're 50, 60 yards away from her, or is it the last thing? Does she just decide to do it when you're only 10 feet away from her?
Yeah.
So, but I say everybody's, why people's minds change the things, but
Yeah.
they're adamant. Like, it happens, and I say the one down Colang, like, we experienced some fantastic stuff down on it. The only reason the whole case was stopped because there was hundreds of cars going down every night, driving down this one road trying to see the Phantom Hitchhiker. So we had to investigate it behind the scenes, because it was the people in the wee pub. I think it was the Four Corners pub, you call it. It was them that went live with the whole thing first of all, and then it just blew out of proportions for them.
So you'd have to do it QT. You'd have to do it on the QT that you don't everyone.
Well, that's what we ended up doing, because even months afterwards, we were doing things around the house, and we were sitting in the house one night. Again, typical, sitting around with no lights on, just sitting chatting. Next minute, we seen this torch, the light of a torch coming up the laneway, and we went, "Oh no!" And it was a fella and girl coming up to see the spirit. So we waited till they were nearly in the door, and they went, "Hello there." So you can guess what happened there. So you can, but no, but it is very, very interesting subject. And as I say, there is in the north alone, there's about 5 or 6. In fact, down south, I know there's a lot of some of the roads when you're driving down, you've got the big sort of signs where it says like danger black spot or like people get. Now we had done a thing years ago about hungry grass. And hungry grass, I'm sure you know, is where it's been sort of plague victims or something like that, or there's been a lot of people have died during the plague or during the famine or something like this. And it's been basically saturated into the ground, and that will actually influence cars and all. But you usually find out as well near them, the accident black spot areas, there's actually where phantom hitchhikers are seen as well.
Ooh. Look at Ludo looking at me saying we need to do a road trip.
Yeah, I know one place.
You do. Oh my gosh, there's something I was going to say to you, and I completely forget. Lou, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I was just wondering, Warren, like, what was your most memorabilia place to go? Like, favorite? I can't speak well.
One of the best places, and again, John Campbell there about the Grand Opera House in Belfast.
Right,
the Opera House was a special place for us. We were lucky enough to do, I think, Jerry Anderson from Radio Ulster. He had done a 4-part documentary on the group, and that's where we met John. And the Opera House was fantastic. A couple of nights we were there. Now we were there with Jerry Anderson and with Father Aidan Troy, and some of the activity we got, like we were sitting around. A couple of girls who worked in the place were sitting beside us, so we knew there was nobody going to be messing about. And we were sitting in the auditorium and looking down towards the stage. And there was Dr. Bob Kern there as well. And Dr. Bob Kern, I think it's Jordanstown University he's with. He's like a parapsychologist sort of debunker thing. So he was there to be the grounds for everything. And we had called out, just says, look, Jerry had actually called out and said, looking for spirit there. I said, can you please, make yourself known? And I said to him, I said, there's a spirit walking out into the centre of the stage. And just as I said that, the light came on, shone right down in the middle of the stage.
Oh my God.
And then went off again. And we went, everybody was just totally gobsmacked, and then we'd done a bit later on where we're actually sitting on the stage. And Jerry had called out, and again, as I said, it would call out, just ask the spirits to get lights to come on. And when he was calling lights, there was lights going on and off for him and all this here. So it was. There was up saying it. There was a couple of other nights we went out and there was nothing at all happened.
Yeah.
I know. That's the thing. I would love to do there. And that's just another thing what Alan was saying, which is, I know the couple, that's amazing what Warren was saying about hitchhikers. Do you think something could travel with you in the car? Me and Jen were talking to someone who was a guest in the museum, and she was convinced something was always in the car. Let me tell you. Oh, the Lord, when the lovely women, they just frightened the life out of me of what they were talking about. I don't know if I can say it. I don't know if they wanted private or not. But yes, there's always somebody in a car, and he's I don't know why I'm saying he, but they are very negative. Very negative. even to the point now, I said, hey, let's investigate your house. But now it's like, after what they told us before about dreams, me and Alan looked at each other and I was like, I can't. I just won't. I can't. I mean, I like the nice ones. I don't like the ones who are.
What do you think of that, Warren? Like about attachments and things like that?
They can do, and I'll tell you, it's funny saying about the car because, again, some of the hitchhiking ones, the Phantom Hitchhiker ones around the world, as I say, the spirits actually got in, and as I say, travelled up the road. And there's one in particular. Now, apparently, this is 100% true. The girl got in the backseat of the car, and the guy said he looked at her, and it was raining outside, and her clothes were all wet. And he had said he took her down. He says, "Where do you live?" And he took her to this house, and then she disappeared outside this house. And it turned out this was the house the girl lived in. She had died about a year ago. But there's so many cases like that where, not everybody must be lying.
Yeah.
But saying that about the car, it's a funny thing. Years ago, I had a Renault 19. And one of my friends one day, this guy is a biker. Nothing's going to scare him. Got off his bike outside the house and come walking in my driveway. By the time he got to my door, his feet had nearly collapsed. His legs went from under him, and he was pure white. And I got him in the house. His name was Joe. I got him in the house. I said, "What's wrong with you?" And he says, "Warren," he says, "there was this man sitting in your car." Now, he described this guy sitting in the passenger side of my car, or the driver's side of my car, with glasses on. I got there looking out the window, but he said he was just like ashen white. I just sat and I looked him the whole way in, and Joe thought he was ready to open the door and grab something and trail him out because he thought somebody was trying to steal the car. And he said he went to walk over towards the car, and the person just disappeared. And what he didn't know was somebody had actually died in that car.
Oh, crap.
Before I got it, and I knew about it. The fella had actually had a heart attack and died in the car.
Oh.
Now, Joe, I mean, as I say, if you've seen this guy, I mean, see when he was coming in out the driveway by my car, he always looked the opposite way. We'd never look near the car again.
I don't blame him. I was just like, no, I don't blame him.
Big guy scared of nothing, except the spurt in your car.
Oh, just a little one, just sitting there waving at you as you walk by.
I had heard stories just talking about hitchhikers. I was watching this documentary on YouTube, and it was about in Japan that they were experiencing a lot of that as well, like lost souls walking around after.
That's right.
Tsunami that they had her. So remember it was tsunami.
Yeah.
Now I know they're very big into their spirits and things like that.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Yeah.
But I do remember that, hearing that stuff. Yeah.
Where would you like to investigate? I know this is Lou's question. I'm going to jump. Sorry, Lou. It just came out of my mouth. Where would you like to investigate that you haven't investigated? Sorry, Lou. You have to come up with another one.
I would like to investigate Stormont buildings up in Belfast to see if there's any life at all. But there you go. That's where our government. Stormont buildings up in Belfast is where our government are. So I would say I'd love to go in there and see if there's any life at all. But actually, Stormont buildings, because there is a lot of activity around the actual Stormont buildings on the grounds of it. So there is. We did try to get in. We did try to get in a lot of years ago, and obviously it was just no way. You can't get into it.
You can't.
No, it's just totally closed doors. And then we were told about 5-10 years ago, we were told we could maybe get in, but it was going to be again off the record. Nobody had to go public, which we're happy with. We would do a lot of cases, and details are never put up on the website or anything, or on Facebook or anything. But unfortunately, it never came to anything. But there's a few places I would love to do. I'd love to do the Queen Mary in America.
Oh yeah,
that would be funny. I was going to ask you, did you ever do the HMS Caroline ship in Belfast?
We did. Well, I actually used to be a tour guide on it, so I was. So
did you?
Yeah, I spent a couple of nights on it, so I did myself doing me and two of the other workers just doing bits and pieces on it. So there was nobody, but the Caroline has its stories, but there was nobody ever actually. The only person ever died. It was the last sort of what I call remaining ship from the Battle of Jutland. Yeah. But there was nobody ever. It never really seen battle, and there was only one person died. The chef or the cook. He was washed overboard, so he was during the storm. But there was never anybody really sort of died on it, if you know what I mean. But there was stories about people getting their ash and all they got there spread from it, taking on their ship at work there in the naval sort of aspect.
One night we did the HMS Caroline ship in Belfast, and it was pretty amazing. It was I mean, I don't have this piece of audio, but let me tell you, if I did, we were down in the engine room. And, sorry, Jessica, hold on, lovey. So we were down in the engine room, and so the team founder was saying, would you like us to address you by Colonel or by whatever the word he said? And we were all down there. And remember, we had to go, this little round circle, and you have to go down the ladders, and you see 2 floors down, go down more ladders. So there was a group of us there, the team that I used to be on, and I didn't like heights. So I was the second last person to go down, because I certainly wasn't going to be the last person that was staying at the top of my own. Anyhow, we were down in the engine room, and it called out, how do we address you by Colonel or Sir or whatever? And we all heard this man saying, no. And we all heard him. And on the recorder, you'll hear us saying, oh my God, and bleep, 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 and, laughing, because it was just amazing. It was great. There was I remember, the bedrooms that they have, the bunks, and the doors would just be curtains. And we all would sit on the bed individually, but Jenny, being Jenny, would stand up by the curtain just in case, and everyone was sitting. I'd say it was like 8 feet back, probably less, but I still wouldn't go in as far as that. I stood at the door with my curtain open, just in case, that's what I always do. That's me. And it was a good ship. Unfortunately, I don't get to listen. I didn't at the time get to listen to all of that audio. I didn't do audio at the time, but only for that DVP. It was that was the best of the night. Yeah, that was the best of the night. Yeah, you can hear footsteps walking. There's one area of the ship, I can't remember the name of it, but you're inside the ship, and it's big ropes, and you're walking from the rooms to another area of the ship, down to, I don't know what, I'm not going to try and name it, but you'd walk through it, and there's ropes there, and it's metal, and so on, and you'd hear footsteps. Yeah, and we heard a female. So it was a pretty good place. Willie did it once, but I got to do it. I got to do a ship. But it was fabulous though.
Yeah, when we were there, as I say, they were my boss, when I was there, was very, very against the whole thing. He was quite good living. But as I say, whenever you were walking around the ship early in the morning, late at night, or even sometimes during the day, what you used to hear was, you'd have heard banging noises come from the boiler house. You'd have heard voices coming from the boiler house and all this here. So you would have, but the SS Nomadic's a good ship as well. Now, if you've ever got on it,
where's that?
It was a tender ship for the Titanic. So it's where the Titanic Museum is. Now we used to do full night and 5-hour investigations for people, and brilliant ship, loads and loads of activity.
Really?
It's just parked outside it, is it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, it's Titanic Belfast has bought over that whole thing, and again, unfortunately, they say it's out of reverence, and I got there. They don't want to show. No, they don't want the whole thing to be known paranormal and sort of ghostly, and all I got there, which is very, very unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't understand why people. I get it sometimes where they don't want bombarding of teams coming, but they have to do is say no, yes, no, yes, no. You don't have to let every team in that wants to go into it. It's unfortunate because it's just history that we would want to know.
That's
whether
right.
it be intelligent or whether it be residual. It's just history. And I always say, especially with the Drogheda Museum Millmount and every other location, not all history is written in books. Like Mary was saying last night, like Loftus Hall was like an onion. There's so many layers to it.
Yeah.
Same with the Drogheda Museum Millmount. We think we know who we're talking to, and we do to some of them. But then you get someone else new in, and you get someone else new in, and it's just constantly. And we have
again, Jenny, it could be attracting other spirits as well from around the area for all we know.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
So we think we know, but we don't. We're always back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
We're always back to the drawing board of we think we know, and we don't. We know what we need to know, but we want to know more. If that makes sense, we want to know more of it, which would be great. Janet is saying, one of you have to come to my relocation. Easy access and free, tons of activity in Belfast. I was saying that to Lou last week, and I was telling her the name of it. So yeah, we're working on that for the summertime. I'm trying to think there because I know we have something every month. But I mean, yeah, we did talk about it last week. I think Lou, I showed you the message.
Yeah.
PM me, Janet, and we'll go through. Are you going to make it that night with us? Yeah, make it that night with us. So we'll do a group call and we'll arrange to go up and so on. Lou.
Yeah.
What would be one of your? I'm going to interview now. Oh gosh, he'll come back on hopefully. What would be one of your favorite locations to do that you haven't done? Well, in any country.
Oh my God, I don't know yet. I'm just satisfied with wherever I'm going. That there is meant, especially is there like a lot of history. That just I just like that. I like to be in it and then imagine like what went on, who was there. I would have loved to have gone to see Loftus Hall. And I loved that chat there you had yesterday with Mary. That was great. Just kind of feeling like I was like getting something. Just even
Nando.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I tell you, like when you go into locations, do you feel the wall? Like I know we do locations together, but when you walk in, like I go into castles or whatever and feel the wall, just a stone wall.
Sometimes I would, like I said to you before, I would kind of get like images kind of where I'm, there. Sometimes the face mightn't be there, but you might see like the figure of the outfit of what they're wearing. So, that's really like.
Do you get anything in the museum? Like I'm coming up with all the names. Petulia now. We're still looking for Petulia. I'm not giving up on Petulia.
No, I just
I'm not giving up on Petulia.
Someone in charge.
Someone's trying to come back in there, right? Huh?
But I keep getting there's someone in charge. I think I was saying that to you before, and he definitely loves hanging around the stairs, the back stairs. But there is something weird as well going on with the wooden stairs. That part, I know. I keep putting my camcorder there because I keep trying to.
But you're right, though. But you're right with the wooden stairs.
Yeah,
you're right with the wooden stairs. Yeah.
Why? What was there?
Look at Petulia, my heart. Let me tell you, Helen, there will be a Petulia. I'll make sure. I'm trying to get Warren back in here. Here we go. Petulia. We will have a Petulia. Mark my words. We all heard it here first. We're going to get a Petulia.
Of that song, Julia, is it?
Huh?
Oh, nothing. Next
song, Petulia. We're going to look for a song. I'm going to look for Petulia. Petulia, my arms.
Hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, Scotland would be nice.
I love Scotland. Can you hear us okay? I think, Warren, are you back on the laptop? Barrowstones. Yeah, Scotland. I mean, St. Mary's King's Close would be a place I'd love to go to. Can you hear us now okay? Yeah, Tombstone. Yeah. Oh, what's that church in Dublin that I really want to go to? Oh gosh, it's gonna. Huh?
Not Christchurch, is it?
Could be. No, maybe not. No.
The one with the crypts.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to go there as well.
That has to be done. I know
or something like that, or
is it? Yeah, it is actually. You're right. I know when I was up there before. No, Warren could. He'd probably go back onto his mobile phone. I know when I was up there last year, we were there ready to go in, and it was closed. I was raging. It was closed. I
love all that, yeah. And I agree with you. I remember hearing you saying ages ago about the Vatican. I did go.
Oh,
I
yeah,
did go there, and it's creepy.
I'd like to do that. Who's Facebook user? I'm trying to have a wee look here.
I did that. I did that for my head.
Did you?
Yeah. And I had a little boy hold my hand the whole way. I didn't know.
Sorry, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
That's fine. Definitely.
I had someone hold my hand, and I was like, I just had to keep my hand out the whole way around. And at the end, I just said it to your one. I was like, look, there's someone holding my hand the whole way. And she goes, oh my God, you must have had this little boy. He's renowned for holding your hand. So, yeah.
I'd like to do St. Mary's King's Close.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to do that because I know the Edinburgh vaults are good, but St. Mary's King's Close looks like more of a city underground. They're the ones I'd love to do. I know we have tried to arrange to go over there before years ago, but they're the ones that I do want to try and go to. I'm waiting for Warren to come back in. Hopefully he'll go back onto his mobile phone. I know the laptop wasn't 100%.
Confirm. Yeah.
I'm like, we should just fill you in with what coming up in the next few weeks, shall we? Next Thursday, we have the Drogheda Museum Millmount. It's not going to be many people as there was there as last week. And we are going to continue off in the kitchen area. We're going to bring the table down. We're going to set up the chairs, and we are going to set up the cards. We're going to have a card game. If anyone had watched the live that Lou had put up of when I asked, okay, I'm going to ask you again, do you want to play a game of cards? We have a man saying yes. So Eric is moving to Edinburgh. I know you said that before, Eric, you're moving to Edinburgh. Brian is saying you should try Ballygally Castle. I've heard about that. That's on our sites. Oh, geez, no. I've heard of the name. What area it's in, I don't know unless I have to start Googling. But I don't know. Where is Ballygally? I know it's somewhere in Ireland, obviously. It's somewhere in Ireland. Do you guys believe graveyards to be haunted, or do you think they just hold the shells of the people? Are they linked to be happy or sad aces, or linked to the bodies?
It's kind of a tough one, Janet. I used to love...
Sorry.
I'd love going to them. I actually always, since I was younger, I'd always say that to my mom, and I'd love looking at, like, you know, when they were born, when they died. And I find them kind of really peaceful, and I just don't know if full on, if I could say definite, there's like, I'd say there is the odd soul that hangs around there, but
yeah,
I think a lot of people would go
do you think when the families go and visit their graves that they would come and visit them at their graves?
Yeah,
I think they do.
Yeah, I know. I have heard of stories where, like, maybe people had a visit from a family member and they might say, "Oh, I've seen you at my grave." Do you know? So
yes, yeah. Oh my God, yeah. And I've seen where and videos now. Gosh, when we get videos, it's just like kind of internet videos where you have this little girl and she's kissing, like she went to see her grandmother's grave and she was only a toddler, and you could see her kissing like the air, like not like this, but kind of kissing, and it was a nice video. I don't know, be very skeptical sometimes of it. So Ballygally Castle is in County Antrim. I love County Antrim. I basically, when I was in a different team, I basically lived in Antrim every single month. Leap Castle, Nora, we are in Leap Castle on the 29th of April. We are in Redwood Castle on the 28th, and then we're in Leap Castle on the 29th. So we're going to do two castles at the one weekend. We are going to go
Redwood.
Try and go live. Yeah, definitely. Now we can go live in Redwood, but there's certain areas in the castle where you can't go live because the walls are too thick, and it's the same with Leap Castle. But if we can't go live, then we will do a pre-recorded video, and then we'll put it up on the page and show you our nights of investigation. But Leap Castle is a fabulous place. Have you ever been to it, Nora? I'm looking forward to going back to Leap Castle.
Mm-hmm. That's where I saw red mist. So I wonder if I see that.
Yeah, you two are mad too. Hey, no rest for the wicked, Janet. No rest for the wicked. It will be exhausting sleeping on air beds, but you know, we're hardcore investigators.
Our air beds. We're actually kind of posh.
We got air beds.
Air beds.
Let me tell you, when I was in Leap Castle, you know that bench where you all sit down for breakfast and so on.
Yeah.
You know, that long table in the first room. I slept on that the last time I was in Leap Castle. Only last
on the table.
No, not on the table. I would have rolled off and you know the long bench. I slept on that bench. I mean, this is this, and my arse is like this, and so this bench is like this. Wait, how I did it? And I think my leg was on the table, so it was to stop me from rolling over. Who's this? I sleep, Brian. I sleep on the floor. I have slept on that bench. The floor would have been good for my back. My back is awful. I'm getting OAP paranormal.
When I was younger.
When I was younger, I would have been great. No, not too much. I don't know how I managed, but I did have a nice sleep because I turned around and faced the back of the. I mean, if I was facing outwards, then I would have been sleeping like a dog, my tongue hanging out and drool coming from my mouth. So I decided to sleep facing in, and it's like this way. And I had a nice sleep. It was grand. I mean, I couldn't move. I was like rigor mortis the next day. Like, I couldn't move. I was like a mummy, but I managed it. It was good. I'd love to see that. We hope Warren can come back on.
Yeah. What game should we play for this cards?
Well, I know Chris told me Patience was one. A lady wanted to play Patience, and if it's the lady that I'm thinking of, we'll try it. For the man, I don't know. We'll ask him. We'll ask him what's his favorite game, and do a playback. And if not, then we'll pick a game for him, like poker or something like that.
Hopefully,
and we'll bring money with it. We'll bring coins with us that we can gamble. And we're going to bring little whiskey. We're going to bring whiskey. I think so. Yeah, little whiskey so we can pour it into a glass for him.
Yeah.
We're going to do all of that on Thursday night. We will do a little live from it. If it doesn't work because we're live, then we'll come off the live. But we're going to do it. Did you try the healing balloon yet? Not yet. Not yet. But we will actually. We'll probably bring one on Thursday with us.
What's this?
The healing balloon with the lead weight on it. And, if the little children in the museum.
Yeah.
Like little Helen.
I heard you saying that yesterday.
Yeah. Or like little Helen.
Yeah.
Oh, the little boy could take the balloon.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to Thursday. I like when we get our heads together and plan. When you go in, no, Helen, we're not doing strip poker. Anything but strip poker.
Get all in here. Loads of glasses. One.
Oh Lord, I just snorted like a peg. We're gonna bring Jesus Lord. We're gonna bring we're gonna get the heating balloon. I'll pick one up on Thursday afternoon. I'm gonna bring it with us. Nora has been to Leap Castle. I love Leap Castle. What's your favorite room in Leap Castle, Nora? I'm looking forward. We're back on the 28th and the 29th.
Anyone has any great ideas for us like that? It's Redwood, it's Leap Castle. If you've been there, any ideas? What you want us to do?
Yeah.
Do you want Jenny to
go on? No, you don't want Jenny to go on her own. No, you don't.
Yeah. Have a vote.
Well, it's been in the bloody chapel on my own.
Yeah.
Linda, it can only go down if you do it that way, so you know for sure something is pun on it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. So I know it happened in Charleville Castle. The balloon. Hey Jen, tell Chantel ghost don't wear pants. Chantel, ghost don't wear pants. The first floor, Nora, was brilliant. The sunroom I found brilliant because when we did the ITC, where we'd have my mobile phone.
Banquet room or ground floor?
The banquet room was on the second floor. The first floor is where the fire is lit, where we all sit and set up. Lulu, you can go on your own. That's Brian. Oh, here's Warren back in. Are we back?
I lost that.
Lulu, you can go in on your own.
Yeah. Okay.
In the meeting. I hope Warren can go. Oh, you're back in.
You're back.
Can you hear us okay? Let me take that off for a tickety boo.
I like his paint behind him.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can you hear us okay, Warren? Look who lived there and what would ring for them. Games, sayings, names, etc. What kind of things did they do in the home? What language did they speak? You have to trigger them. Happy or maybe sad, although I don't like doing it. Well, yeah. Yeah, that's why we're going to do the card game on Thursday night. Looking forward to doing it. Really, after what we had gotten. Oh, Warren, try if you're still listening. I'm going to see if I can mail him and just say try and use his mobile phone.
Yeah.
Okay, that's that done. So yeah, Lulu, go on your own. The glass conservatory off the ground floor is very active little spot with a young girl in Lep Castle. Is that
Weird,
the?
Mary, yeah.
Yeah, Mary, is that the that's when we were there that night, that night when Mary had joined us with the when we did the ITC. Now we didn't get her, we didn't get the little girl, but we got a man. We got a man doing the count for us. So Mary, that's the first. Well, I don't know why I call it the first floor, where the fire is. You know where the long table is out that doorway. That's
I know. I always get mixed up.
Well, we do actually some board games where. Oh yeah, that's it, Mary. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I do. Let me tell you, I do love that sunroom. Not a lot of people call out in it. But remember the night, Mary, we were there and we did the ITC when we had the mobile phone in there on speaker with a recorder, and then we had the phone out where we were sitting. So we'd call out through the phone. And I was doing the counting game and we got a reply. It was so clear. It was brilliant, actually. It was really good. So yes, we have myself and Lou and Niall did a weed team meeting tonight and just writing down what we're going to be doing for the location. So we're up and ready to go. Yeah, I still have that now. I wonder if I can.
What was that, Jenny?
Yeah, let me see if I can. Let me see if I can find it here, and I'll put it up for you. It's the one. Oh, you know the one I play with the guessing the number.
Oh yeah.
So let me see if I can. I can find it here, and I can put it up. Let me see. Tracks. So here's Jenny going through. I have way too many tracks here. Way too many tracks. Don't mind me. I'm just going through. Oh, you're not going to get it like that, Jennifer. Okay. Lou, you still there?
Yeah.
I can't see it because I'm looking at my SoundCloud.
Oh. Yeah, surprisingly the internet.
Oh my goodness, where is it? Oh, here we have it. I have it here. Okay, I have it here. So let me just see. Oh, Jennifer, don't do that. Okay, so I'm going to share it out. Sorry, I'm new to doing all of this here. So okay, so I'm going to play the piece that I was talking about of Lep Castle when we did the ITC. So we use my phone, and then we kind of put it into another room and call out through the other phone. So I'm going to play it here now. Let me see. Here we go. 5, and I would like you to tell me the missing number. You ready? 1, 2, 4, 5. Thank you for finishing it off. But what was the missing number? So I don't know if you all heard that, but that was the response that we're getting. So the missing number was 3. So when I said 4, and then he came in and said 5. So he did that for us. Look up Ballygown Presbyterian Church. It used to be an awful lot of ghost stories up there. Definitely going to look that one up. There's another one here. This is from the same night at the same session we were doing. It's a male talking from the that same sunroom.
All right.
How many fingers am I holding up?
Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry, I always do that because when we do that, it doesn't mute me. So what we think we heard was "That's a good girl," Flower.
I could
Dunno,
hear something. I just didn't.
I'll
That's
play
a good.
it.
What was it? That was a good girl.
That's a good girl, Flower. I'll play it again.
I'm going to count up to 5.
Well, that's the one. We'll just play
And I
it.
would like you to tell me the missing number. You ready? 1, 2, 4, 5.
I'll play the other one.
How many fingers am I holding up?
Oh, yeah.
You heard that? That's a good girl,
Yeah.
Flower. So when we go back, there's a lot of other work that we're going to do. I've just made in the Warren to see if it can come back on. I don't know. He hasn't seen it yet.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a signal or not. I'm not too sure. We'll give him another, say, 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes, and see if it comes back on. But yes, anyway, that's my cat still meowing. So yes, we're back out on Thursday night. We are back out on the 28th and 29th of April. We have a few investigations coming up. We are looking into new locations as well. We won't know anything about that until when we hear, you'll hear. We don't know anything just yet. Any other questions before we leave? I have mailed Warren. For his signal was really bad tonight, so hopefully he'll try and get back on, and I hope he does.
Yeah.
I hope he's back on. Any questions for us? Alan, are you still in the house? Nora, what was your favorite room in Lep Castle? Janet, any questions? Janet, when are you coming down to Drogheda to do? How many do's am I doing to come back into the museum with us? Yes, you can ask where we're both from. Brian. Well, I'm from the south of Ireland. And Lou is from the south of Ireland. Huh?
Dublin.
I'm from the old town of Drogheda. But Brian, where are you from? Oh, Brian, you're from Belfast. Brian, I know you. You're new on the page. You're new. That's Emerald Isle Paranormal Researchers is our team. That's the page you joined up a few days ago.
Right.
Yeah, that's Brian. Ballygowan near Belfast. That's great. Yeah, Brian, you're new to the Emerald Isle Paranormal Researchers page. So this is another side thing that we do. It's a podcast on paranormal. And I'm doing about 2 years, loving it. Always busy. Okay, let me just see. Okay, this message hasn't even gotten into Warren. So, okay, we're going to call it a night. I will hopefully Warren will get back onto me now. I do hope he gets back onto me. But that is it for tonight. That's from us. Oh, you're very welcome, Brian. You're so welcome. Enjoy the page. If you have any ideas or any questions, text the page. Just post it on the page. Or even here on Shadow Whispers in the Night. But anything for the team. And maybe down the road, when we're kind of up in your neck of the woods, or we're doing another location down in the south, you can come and join us if you want to. Oh, wow. What location has scared you the most that you would consider not going back to, and why? I know mine was Shane's Castle. Mine was Shane's Castle in County Antrim.
I haven't.
But I'd be hesitant.
I haven't. Like, I got a good experience in Lep Castle, and where was the Spike Island when we were down the tunnels?
Yeah.
But no, it hasn't scared me. It was a weird experience, but it hasn't scared me yet. So I haven't actually had anything just yet. I've had experiences, but nothing just yet. It would.
It-
But definitely Lep Castle was closed now with the touching of my back. That was
That's on the second floor. That's in the banquet room.
Yeah. I'd never had that experience, and that
Cool.
was weird. Yeah.
It is cool. And it's
Yeah.
surreal, but it's oh my God. I remember being in the museum. I know Shane's Castle, County Antrim would be mine. I remember being in, and Alan will know this, being in the Drogheda Museum in Millmount, and we were down in the kitchen area, and Aidan was in the stocks, and Alan was standing feet behind me, and I'm doing a call out. I'm doing a live, and I'm doing a call out. So at one point I said to Alan, Alan, where are you standing? And he goes, I'm right behind you. So I'm looking behind, and he was like right behind me, and I said something touched me on my arm. Which you know, because I was wearing my t-shirt, and normally I wear long sleeve tops that if anything like that happens, that I don't feel it. But I was wearing my t-shirt, and anyhow, so Alan said to me, "What did it feel like?" And normally, I normally say like a spider web, which is the most common way of like something brushed by you or someone walked through you or something like that. And I said, "It feels like a feather. It felt like a feather." And he looked at Aidan, and Aidan looked at him, and Alan. When Alan makes that face like he's either constipated or he's like, sorry, Alan. So he's kind of like looking like, like Scooby-Doo, like, what's going on? And hold on, I'm not going yet, Alan. And he goes, the usual bleep, 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 you're bleeping kidding me, bleep, bleep, bleep. So what happened was when Aidan and Alan went in the kitchen area at the big front part, they found a feather on the ground. They picked it up and put it on the wooden chest.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a Warren. I'll tell you in a second. So they put it on the wooden chest. You know that wooden chest that's in the door on your left-hand side.
Yeah.
And so I felt, you know the difference between a spider web and a feather. So it's just like that. The feeling was different. So anyway, they turned the light on and so on. And Alan goes, Jenny, look at your bleeping foot. And I didn't want to, but I had to. So I looked down, and on my right-hand side was the feather. And it was kind of, there was only 3 of us in the building that night.
Yeah.
3 of us, and Aidan was in the stocks. He was going nowhere. Alan was behind me. You'll hear his footsteps. And Aidan was in the stocks. And so he should. Aidan was in the stocks. Yeah. And so the feather touched me in the arm, and the feather was there on the floor on my right side on the floor. That's right. I know, it was brilliant. Yeah. Oh, definitely. Okay, so Warren, his mobile battery ran out. His Wi-Fi was really bad all week, but he would love to come back on again. Absolutely, Warren, would love you back on 100%. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. Thanks a million. I know you've been busy all week and you've been working today as well, but I want to say thank you so much. I mean, I want to know so much more. I have all my questions down here and I want to know so much more, but thank you so much, Warren. And yes, let's arrange another date for you to come back on in the next few weeks. We'd love you to come back on in the next few weeks. Definitely. Good night, Mary. Good night, my love. Thank you for watching in. Thank you for watching. We are going to leave off ourselves now as well. Alan, that was so cool. Yes, it was phenomenal. And the funny, and not the funny thing is like the difference between the spider web and feeling and the feather feeling.
Yeah.
The way I
said spider webby kind of.
Yeah. It's just different. It's a different feel. It's just, and it was just weird that I said that it was like a spider web. Yeah. So that is it, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Warren, I will mail you. Definitely love you back on. I loved chatting with you. A million thanks for jumping in with us tonight. Brilliant. Loved it. Good night, Nora. Thank you so much for watching, Nora. We'll have to talk more about Lep Castle. Even when we're down in Lep Castle again, come and join us. Well, that is it. That is it. Louise, thank you for jumping in and hosting tonight's show with me. It was your first show that you hosted. You did amazing.
I hope I did okay. Yeah.
Of course you did, girl. Of course you did. You're Emerald Isle. Of course you did amazing. But will you do more with me?
Yeah. Yeah. I just get tongue-tied, you see. That's what happens. And then I'm like,
oh. You always
The words right.
huh?
Yeah, I can never get the words right sometimes. Yeah.
Oh, listen, have you heard me reading out half the borrows before? And I'd be like, I only ever get it arseways when I'm doing a live and I'm reading out a bio. Well, hello, Humberto from RGV Paranormal Lockdown. We are just about finished here, Humberto. Wish you'd were on longer with us, but we are just locking off here now. We had a fabulous guest, Warren Coates, with us from Northern Ireland, one of the longest teams running in Ireland, about 30 years from 1991. So we are next weekend. What are we doing next weekend? Are you doing anything next weekend? That's my dog snoring in the background, as always. No, we have nothing on next weekend or the weekend. I keep thinking now, though.
No, just Thursday and
we have
then
Thursday night, yeah. We have
Check
Thursday night. So that's it. I do have another show next weekend, actually. I do have another show on next week. I have Barry Fitzgerald joining me next Saturday night.
Yeah.
So that'll be another fantastic show, as always. That'll be a great show. I will get the posters up and the time up for that as well. I think most people would know from Ghost Hunters International. So, yes, he's on with me next Saturday night. But what we're going to do now... Oh, you're so welcome. Let me just make sure that's Brian, is it? Because I can come up as Facebook user. Yes, it is Brian. It is Brian. Thank you for the video tonight. I enjoyed it. Thank you for joining us.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Aye, thanks for joining us on your first show with us. You got to see Barry, did you, Eric? He's from Ireland. Okay, he's a good old Irishman.
Yeah.
Warren,
I do. I remember him now on Ghost Hunters.
Yeah. I remember him on locations. Yeah, so it'd be great. And he's one of the spokespeople for the Global Ghost Hunt as well.
I wonder how Brian's doing. Remember Brian? He was always making mistakes on Ghost Hunters.
I don't know who Brian is. I know we were talking about Brian before.
Oh, he was hilarious from day one. And then he's always
is he the young guy?
What?
Is he the young guy, young skinny guy?
Yeah, he's young fella. And then he season 2 or something like that. Then his girlfriend was pregnant. He was always missing. Oh, he was so funny. Oh, wow. I wonder what he's up to now. He wonders Barry.
I'm still doing it. Are we gonna now start doing audio?
Yeah.
Look at Lou's not too sure. I'm the same. Like, shall we do audio? Shall we do video?
Yeah,
we should
ask about the orbs.
Oh, what do you think of orbs? Elsa, I can see Elsa's watching. Hi, Elsa. My daughter upstairs in my room above me. Hi, Miss Elsa.
Hi.
She's watching. I could shut upstairs now and say hi, Elsa. Anybody, any questions before we leave?
Yeah.
Any questions before we leave?
Or like that, any ideas for Thursday?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you know the museum. My fire's lit. My dog is panting like a crazy dog. Okay, we are going to we're going to finish this tonight. We're going to finish it now. We're going to finish it now, and then we're going to crack onto audio and video work, aren't we, Lou?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Does anybody believe, Lou, that she's going to do audio work or video work? Anybody? Any thumbs up that she's going to do audio work or video work?
Yeah.
I probably look. Look at you. Yeah.
And Brian's saying I have to go on my own.
Well, yeah, Brian, you're totally right.
I have to have a little poll and
look at Elsa. Elsa said, "Nope, you're not going to do the video work or audio work."
Right, Elsa. Us Librans, Elsa, yeah. Oh.
She's Libra. Nora said, absolutely not.
You're right.
I'm getting a lot of thumbs up here now. Nora said, absolutely not. Eric is saying, no, you're not doing any audio work or video work. Oh, Libra. Look what Elsa did. The Libra. Lou's a Libra as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Virgo. Little bit uptight. Am I uptight? only when I need to be. I'm very strict. Am I strict? I don't think I'm strict. I like to dot the I's and cross the T's, but I don't think I'm strict. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. When I need to be. Right, we're going to stop.
Elsa.
What?
Okay, finish. Bye.
Oh, Lord, that's so funny. I'm getting a lot of thumbs up here. Oh, this is all from Elsa. Elsa Sunyasi, I can hear you.
Good woman.
I think you will. Brian thinks you're going to do the work.
Yeah, I think so too, Brian. Yeah.
She's just like, yeah.
Oh, I love it. I do, because it's such a reward. Like when you actually do get something, it's like,
I know. I have,
it's like high, isn't it? It's like addiction.
It's kind of like, yes.
It's like even hearing that yes, that yes come true. I was like, oh my God.
Even last week when we thought it was really quiet, and then you got that on the live. Now, when I did the audio last night, I couldn't get that. I didn't get it. What did I say?
Pamela got in touch with you as well. Remember, I just sent it on to you, and then Pamela was in touch, and she was like, oh yeah, I heard that.
Pamela had mailed me after you had mailed me and said the same thing. Goes, Jen, did you listen to the live? So I know next Thursday could be completely different, but I am looking forward to it. I'm excited for it. Who's doing the thumbs up here now? Is that Elsa? It is Elsa. Elsa keeps doing the thumbs up. Right, we're going to stop waffling here now because you listen to us waffle. Let me just get this. I need to put my glasses on. I can't see anything. What, Lily?
No, I'm just saying, sorry, we're waffling.
No, we waffle. We like to waffle. Two fabulous ladies. We love to waffle. Talkers. Like everyone's sleeping on investigations. Me and Lou would be the one like, where's Brian? Do you want to go downstairs? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? And we do it, yeah. Do it. So, right, we're going to bring us into the background. And thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking and bringing your questions in as well. And Louise, Lulu, thank you for being my co-host tonight. And looking forward to doing the next one with you. Not the face.
Okay.
Right, just stay in the background there and I'll do the outros. Right, guys, talk to you later. Bye. We'll talk to you soon next week. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.